Radiohead is widely regarded as one of the most groundbreaking, influential, and critically acclaimed bands of the modern era. Their music has been dissected and analyzed endlessly, but what about their lowest moments? Even the greatest bands have made mistakes along the way. But before we proceed to our main discussion, let's take a look at the brief history of Radiohead band. Radiohead is an English rock band formed in 1985 in Abingdon, Oxfordshire. The group consists of Thom Yorke, vocals, guitar, piano, Jonny Greenwood, lead guitar, keyboards, Colin Greenwood, bass, Ed O'Brien, guitar, backing vocals, and Philip Selway, drums, percussion. Initially playing under the name On a Friday, the band changed their name to Radiohead in 1991 after signing with EMI. Their debut album, Pablo, 1993, featured the breakout hit Creep, which brought them worldwide fame. However, the band quickly grew frustrated with being labeled a one-hit wonder and sought to expand their musical style. Their second album, The Bends, 1995, showcased a more complex and emotional sound, earning them critical acclaim. This success was solidified with OK Computer, 1997, an album often hailed as one of the greatest of all time for its futuristic themes and experimental rock sound. In the 2000s, Radiohead further reinvented themselves with Kid A, 2000, and Amnesiac, 2001, embracing electronic and avant-garde elements. Their innovative approach continued with Hail to the Thief, 2003, In Rainbows, 2007, The King of Limbs, 2011, and A Moon-Shaped Pool, 2016. Known for their constant reinvention, thought-provoking lyrics, and rejection of mainstream music industry norms, Radiohead has remained one of the most influential and critically acclaimed bands of modern times. If you asked Radiohead themselves about their biggest slip-ups, the song Creep would likely be at the top of the list. While hardcore fans appreciate it, they often view it as misleading in terms of what the band truly represents. The band members themselves used to feel the same way. They knew they had more to offer, yet for years, Creep painted them as a one-hit wonder, a reputation that weighed heavily on them, particularly frontman Thom Yorke. Let's take a closer look at the song that both made and haunted Radiohead. The story behind Creep. For devoted fans, Creep may hint at the emotional depth Radiohead would later explore. However, to the casual listener, it is the defining Radiohead song. At the time of its release, Creep became an anthem of alienation during the height of the grunge era, propelling the band into the spotlight. The song tells the story of an insecure man who fixates on a woman but feels utterly unworthy of her attention. This wasn't just a lyrical exercise. Yorke wrote the song based on his own experiences at Exeter University in the late 80s. He had admired a girl from afar, but his self-doubt prevented him from ever approaching her. Instead, he spent months following her from a distance, feeling like, well, a creep. Yorke's obsession eroded his self-esteem, and when he finally gathered the courage, by getting drunk, his attempt to talk to her ended in disaster. He scared her, reinforcing his own feelings of inadequacy. Years later, fate played a cruel trick. That same woman unknowingly attended a Radiohead concert. According to guitarist Jonny Greenwood, Yorke was shaken to his core. He had never spoken to her properly, yet here she was, hearing his inner turmoil turned into a song. The lyrics reflect Yorke's self-perception, admiration mixed with self-hatred. A reluctant hit. Initially, Creep wasn't even meant to be a major track. It was added to Radiohead's debut album, Pablo, almost as an afterthought. The song struggled at first. Radio stations dismissed it as too depressing, and early sales were unimpressive. But then something unexpected happened. In the US, during the rebellious grunge movement, alternative radio embraced Creep, and it exploded in popularity. The song climbed to number 7 on the UK singles chart and number 34 on the Billboard Hot 100, helping Pablo sell over 2 million copies worldwide. Despite Creep's success, the band quickly grew to resent it. They faced immense pressure to produce another hit, and their grueling 2-year tour left them exhausted. By the time they recorded the Bends, they were creatively frustrated. It was OK Computer that ultimately freed them from Creep's shadow, proving they were more than just a grunge-era one-hit wonder. Why Radiohead rejected Creep? The band's disdain for Creep became increasingly obvious. They stopped performing it towards the end of their OK Computer tour, rarely playing it live afterward. Yorke in particular wanted nothing to do with it. Jonny Greenwood once explained, "Tom just doesn't like playing it. He's not in that emotional space anymore, so he doesn't feel connected to it." For Yorke, authenticity was key. He didn't want to perform songs that no longer felt true to him. Creep had become a burden, a song they never expected to define them, but one that followed them everywhere. To express their frustration, Radiohead released My Iron Lung, a song that served as a metaphor for Creep. Just like a real iron lung, which keeps a patient alive but also confines them, Creep kept the band financially afloat but restricted their artistic freedom. The return of Creep. 4 years, Creep remained absent from their live setlists, with only occasional exceptions between 2001 and 2009. It seemed like the band had permanently buried it. But in 2016, during their moon-shaped pool tour, something unexpected happened. During a show in Amsterdam, a fan jokingly started singing Creep from the audience. To everyone's surprise, Yorke responded, playing the opening chords. The moment reignited the song's place in their concerts. 2 days later, in Paris, Creep made its way into the official setlist for the first time in years. While Yorke remained hesitant, guitarist Ed O'Brien admitted, "It's a good song. It's nice to play for the right reasons. People love it, and we don't want it to feel like just show business, but sometimes we throw it in." A song that defined an era. When Creep first came out, many critics dismissed it as a rip-off of Nirvana or even the Hollies, who later sued Radiohead over similarities to The Air That I Breathe. At the time, the band hated being labeled as part of the grunge movement. But in hindsight, Creep was just the beginning of Radiohead's evolution. While it lacks the surreal beauty of Fake Plastic Trees, the ambitious structure of Paranoid Android, or the experimental brilliance of the national anthem, Creep endures. It remains a powerful song with raw emotion and brutally honest lyrics that still resonate today. Even if Radiohead tried to distance themselves from it, Creep was their gateway to the world, and whether they like it or not, it will always be part of their story. Thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe for more deep dives into music history. Thanks for watching Rock Fame Diaries. See you in the next video. God bless.